Here we go, you guys. We have Spook Squad taking over blue side once again, and Team Ethereal on red. Both teams one victory to their names in this set. Banning for Spook Squad is going to be Why Did, followed by picks from Dope, Gingy, and Toby4v4. Banning for Ethereal will be Diamond Spider, followed by picks from Exile Senpai, Optimus Knight, and Mootsie the Bear. 3 bans out thus far, Morgana and Galio taken by Why Did. Still the same bans that we've seen from these guys in the last 2 games. They're just sticking with it. Now Diamond Spider going back to the revert on the Callista and Lux bans. Their 3rd ban was Xerath, if I'm not mistaken. And Diamond Spider, I would not be surprised if this guy does not ban Xerath and then wants to take it for himself. Now, he hasn't seen much priority from Team Spook Squad onto the Xerath quite yet, but I know Xerath would be a really good ban here, but also would be a really good champion for them to get. But it's very risky for them to ban it out here. It's very risky for them not to ban it out, rather. So I can tell you right now why I believe that it would be a good idea to ban, and I can tell you right now why I believe it would not be a good idea to ban. But I'm not going to do that because I know there's people watching. All I have is my Ghostbusters, but I can't bust my Ghostbust my own voice. Now, we did see the Xerath ban come out, and Why Did ended up taking the early Katarina. This is a surprising pick from him, and Why Did has always prided himself on being that off-meta player, and that the super early Katarina pick is definitely an off-meta pick because you're going to see things like this come out. A Lissandra early pick, a nice little Katarina counter there, not incredibly strong Katarina counter, but has the crowd control that's necessary to do so. And Exile Senpai, he has another select to be able to pick somebody who can completely counter the Katarina out. You know, you have Soraka, you have, just so many little disrupting champions. Tarek, like every little bit of crowd control. So any sort of easy to hit hard stun can very, very easily take away the Katarina's power. But Exile Senpai, as they took kind of the champion that can not only counter the Katarina, but can also do more things in the game as well, like poke and wave clear, they decided to go for a power pick here and take the Varus and not let him slide into the next rotation of picks. Not a bad decision on their part. So now we have the Lissandra and Varus locked in from Exile Senpai and Diamond Spider, and I love the fact that Ethereal are finally taking the Lissandra. I've always thought of Lissandra as a champion that these guys can really thrive with because they've at least since last week when they played A-Man, they were put into a defensive position and they didn't really have much that they could do. They were really caught off guard. Now they're picking these champions that can actually thrive in those scenarios, like Lissandra, like Varus. They're finally prioritizing those champions that can get them, that can still win them games when they're behind, rather than champions that can only win them games when they're completely pushed forward and already have a lead in the grasp of their little paws. Now we have 2 next lock-ins here for Spook Squad. Going to be Dope taking his Shaco, and Shaco is a champion I've never agreed with on the Howling Abyss, but you know, we're just going to have to see how it ends up working out here. And Gingy taking the Nidalee as well. Now the only time I can really see Shaco coming out as a strong pick on this map is when you go for like the super map control trap squad. You know, you could call him Gucci Mane trap squad or something like that. You take like Nidalee, Caitlyn, Shaco, and then Teemo, you know, something like that, where all 4 of these members just have some presence on the map that isn't their actual person. And you can just completely zone out the enemy members. You can really take advantage of where those traps are since your team is the only ones that see them. But, you know, in this case, where it's just a Shaco in combination with a bunch of other just champions that might be good or might not be good with this composition, I don't see it having the power. I don't see it having the power that it could. Now, the last 2 lock-ins for Ethereal are going to be Optimus Knight taking the Fiddlesticks. God, this is a heavy pick here. And Mootsie the Bear ended up locking the Gnar, but he trades it over to Exile Senpai. That's a surprising trade, considering Mootsie is the tank player for this squad. And then it was Why Did ended up taking the Corki and trading it out to Toby4v4. So Why Did ended up taking the early Katarina pick for his Corki player. They wanted to trade that one out there, which is, you know, surprising, agreeable, and disagreeable in some ways, and in other ways not. Let's try to go through and analyze these the style stats team composition strength calculator. First thing let's look at is the comp score. We are not seeing a good composition score come out from Spook Squad right now. This is one of the lower end of the comp scores that we've ever seen really here, especially in season 1 of the Draft Labs tournament series. 3.98, that is a tier 3 composition. You have tier 1, which is 5.0 to 5.99, tier 2 4.0 to 4.99, tier 3 3.0 to 3.99. Now this is granted high tier 3, but tier 3 is not something you get too often. The only time you see tier 3 compositions is when you have champions that are being played like Shaco. Shaco is very low on the list. He does not bring very much power to this map, considering that if you're using your invisibility, your escape mechanic, as a gap closer. Your gap closer is the same as your escape mechanic. It also is what provides you with the burst damage that you need. So I don't necessarily see Shaco working out too well for these guys unless they have something special planned for it. Now, when we look at Red Team, when we look at Team Ethereal, these guys have picked right in line with the Draft Labs champion tier, the champion tier list here that we have provided for you guys. If you would like to, scroll down and check that out, you can see in our panels the tier list, the Howling Abyss champion tier list. You can check that out for yourselves and see where we're deriving all these stats from. But you can see Team Ethereal have taken themselves a 5.39. This is a mid-tier 1 squad. And this is on the higher end of the scale of the squads that we've ever seen here in the Draft Labs tournament series. I think we had a 5.42 just last week in the tournament series. And that was, I believe, the highest that we've had so far. But this is up there, you guys. And this is a serious squad. Not only have they brought 3 tier 1 champions, Fiddlesticks being the tied for number 1 in terms of the rankings on the Draft Labs champion tier list. He's tied with Janna, as of right now, they are the only 2 god tier squads, which is 6.0 to 6.99. He's a 6.04, if I'm not mistaken, in his ranking. You have Varus, who's tier 1. You have Gnar, who's high tier 2, and Lissandra, who's tier 1. These guys are seriously bringing some power in right now. And if you look at the charts, just in terms of sheer potency on this map, Red Team's chart is either equal or better in every single trait across the board. Now, I am an advocate for any team being able to win any match. I don't think it's necessarily all up to the potency, but in this case, where it's so much of a difference, you got to start leaning towards Ethereal before the game even starts, because in just general meta potency, they have taken some serious champions here, you guys. Now, this is an awesome squad, lots of crowd control, lots of poke, lots of engaged capabilities, lots of defensive capabilities, good wave clear coming out from them. This is an excellent squad, and this is one of those squads that can beat any team. You get your hands on a squad like this, you can beat Team AMM for sure. So I'm glad they're finally switching up their selections from, really prioritizing the Xerath and prioritizing the Nidalee to switching back to those champions that we think are new here, or the champions that are going to be up and coming in the Draft Labs Tournament Series meta, like Lissandra, like Gnar, and like Fiddlesticks. So Team Ethereal, they've got my vote going into this match, but I still am confident in Spook Squad to be able to bring something happen. And, there's always that chance of an upset. This is, in fact, the closing match of this set, and it's going to be decided off of this one. Now, I didn't get to mention what the shapes of the 2 charts were. I didn't get to mention what the shape of the 2 charts were. I just saw Pepper's message. He said, Red Team's comp is so good. It is, man. They're incredibly strong, and they're surprised that they end up getting these champions available to them, even after taking out that Xerath. There were other champions that were available to these guys as well that they could have picked that were just as strong as these ones. So if we look at Red Team's chart, that's Team Ethereal. We're going to see that they ended up taking a bottom left side heavy team. Poke, Siege, and Wave Clear as their 3 most prominent traits. This is modern Team Ethereal right now. These guys pick strong champions, they take early game leads, and they hold on to those leads and shove into Nexuses as quickly as they possibly can. Whereas for Team Spook Squad, we're seeing an extremely symmetrical composition. There really is no advantages anywhere for any of their traits. Everything is totally even for them. Now, this is the Draft Labs Tournament Series, 3rd match of our first set of Week 3. Spook Squad taking over blue side once again, and Team Ethereal taking over red. Team Ethereal brought themselves a power composition, whereas Spook Squad are still leaning towards that off-meta brand that they really like. Dope, he moves really far forward. He ends up actually getting locked down instantaneously as Diamond Spider disengages. He face checks that one, but finally we have Spook Squad coming off the gun so quickly. This is a huge change from what we've seen from them in the last few matches. They were actually able to secure an early game lead. They got there before Moochie the Bear was actually able to make it there because he didn't know what items he wanted to buy. Now, they might have to concede this, considering how strong and how much poke is coming out from Team Ethereal right now, but thank goodness they adapted, and thank goodness they got their items so quickly, because look at the positioning. This is exactly not what Team Ethereal want with a squad like this. They do not want to be the ones who are being shoved into their turret. It is super important that Team Spook Squad actually are able to get this wave clear advantage and hold on to it. And all they have to do is just get the first damage down onto each minion wave. That's all they have to do. You can see Dope is not contributing. Why Did is not contributing. and Toby 4v4 was only able to contribute with the Q. So Spook, Team Ethereal are easily able to come back in, get themselves the wave clear advantage. It was just handed to them on a silver platter, and that is so unfortunate. It's a recurring theme we see against these really strong squads here in the tournament series, is that the squads that don't quite have the experience that they do just concede these advantages that the other teams want so badly. And you can see how quickly things turn. If everybody on Spook Squad had been focusing on at least getting that first wave down first and shoving Team Ethereal back and holding them down, you know, suppressing them for as long as possible, this game would be a lot different. But even just the first wave, Team Ethereal were able to come back in and get that wave clear advantage that they wanted so dearly. Dope, he's still looking for some aggression. Is he going to be able to make things happen? He's trying to take control of that bush, as a matter of fact. He was all invisied up there, but wasn't quite able to make too much happen. And now the wave clear for, uh-oh, Dope, he's caught out. There's a lot of crowd control coming for him right now. He jukes out, my goodness. He ends up juking, he cues forward. That was kind of spectacular there, I gotta say. And Team Ethereal, they have been out-trading the opposition here so far, but they still haven't been able to make any big crazy things happen. You know, they're only barely holding on to this wave clear advantage. I think that as they get some points, you know, as the level 4 comes out, more points in the poking spells, as level 4 and 5, they're really going to be able to seal the deal. Now, Optimus Knight, that was an opportunity for somebody to make something happen. You can see Moochie the Bear slowly whittling down the members of Spook Squad. It's all a defense from here, and as somebody is forced to move forward and utilize one or two of their spells just to clear out those waves, there's always going to be punishment there waiting for them. I'm surprised that Diamond Spider didn't move forward on that one. Exile Senpai, he actually ends up smashing two, I believe he smashed 2 traps there, maybe just one, but he landed right on top and ended up taking it down. That was kind of funny. That was replay worthy in my opinion, because it was pretty perfect. Actually, it was replay worthy. Let's watch it again. I want to see him do this. Watch him smash this trap. Ah. He didn't even know it was there. That's awesome. Oh, actually, he might have known it was there. Either way, it was super cool. A lot of poke damage coming in. You saw that last bouncing crows from Optimus Knight ended up bouncing between 3 enemy members. I mean, that is so prime. That is so exactly what he wants here. There is still poke being traded, though, from Spook Squad, just not quite enough. You can see the differential in teams' healths. It's slowly but surely going over in favor of Team Ethereal. Witch of the Bear charging up the Q. He does hit Dope, but the damage isn't that high. He is going for the blue build start, so his damage in the early game is not going to be phenomenal, but as he transitions, he's looking for a smooth transition from early to mid game here with that mana regen. So he's going to spam in the early game, get themselves this early lead, hold on to it, get a little bit of damage on the tower, and then as we transition over into the mid game, they should be able to come back. He's not going to have any mana problems, and they'll just be able to continue at an even stronger pace and at an even faster pace than they're going right now. Nice poke from Moots. He's actually able to get Dope down to shut down range. There might be an engage here from Diamond Spider, but he instantaneously ends up getting feared away. Those traps in the bush are actually doing a lot here for Spook Squad. But Mooch of the Bear, level 5. Keep in mind that level 6 is going to be that spike, that first spike plateau, or excuse me, that first power plateau for the poke coming out from Spook Squad, from Ethereal, excuse me. Optimus Knight, easy health for him, but it actually is getting out-traded by the trap there. That's kind of surprising, but interesting to see nonetheless. You know, usually, 99% of the time, when champions hit level 6, when players hit level 6, they want to put the point that's available to them in the level 6, in the ultimate, rather than in some sort of poking spell. Dope, too far forward. He's going to get dropped. That was a big mistake on his part. I don't know what he expected to do there. He ends up giving up that first blood easily. And now Mooch of the Bear, he's taken low by Wydid. Wydid flashes forward, picks up that kill. Valkyrie's out. Diamond Spider now low as well. He's looking for a kill as he's hit level 6. There's a lot of level 6s coming. Big play from Gnar. He ends up snagging himself 3 stuns on that one, and Diamond Spider follows up for the double kill. Well played. Optimus Knight, he was in the backlines waiting for his ultimate as well, but not quite able to capitalize. Well done there by Spook Squad to trade that one out. 3 for 2. But still, not quite enough. Genji flash into the kill. OHN Dope looking for one of his own. Is going to get silenced out, and I don't think the Optimus Knight is going to be able to get away from this without having to flash. Actually, he's just going to be able to drain it out. Not a big deal. He ends up getting feared out of the drain. Now he's taking a lot of damage, but Dope ends up actually moving back in onto him. Pops the Ignite, ends up getting feared out, drained down, and taken away. That's very unfortunate for him, and I think that was actually a good play with the Shaco. You got to do sneaky things like that on that champion, but that just didn't end up working out for him because Fiddlesticks had the fear available. Should have seen that fear coming. The single target disengage from the fear is just phenomenal. I mean, it's just absolutely phenomenal. And it's another one of the things that adds to Fiddlestick's incredible power and incredible strength in this meta. Nice engage from Diamond Spider. Is he going to be able to out-trade it? He will, and that's going to be another laning phase lead for for Team Ethereal. Exactly where they want to be at. They haven't really been able to take too much damage on the tower, though. And in my opinion, if I want to get down to the nitty-gritty here on Team Ethereal, their inability to actually put damage down onto the towers early when they hold on to such huge early advantages is the difference between them and Team AMAM. Team AMAM, they can do that kind of stuff. They both like to play the exact same playstyle. Strong champions, fast wins. But Team Ethereal, they're unable. They're not quite at that point where they're able to get damage down and take the first tower as quickly as Team AMAM are. We've seen Team AMAM take towers in 2, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, whereas Team Ethereal still have probably 2 or 3 minutes to go before they take down this first one. Exile Senpai ends up getting jumped on by Toby. There's that instantaneous disengage / counter from Lissandra. Also an ultimate from Optimus Knight. Locks down Why Did. He gets taken out. Exile Senpai's left low. He gets dropped here as well. A double kill for Shaco. Not what you would expect, and he is going to be able to escape there as well. Well played here by both sides, and that's going to come out being a 2 for 2 in favor of nil. Now, a note from Sergeant Pepper, he says, Rod of Ages on the Fiddlesticks. It is surprising to me as well, but it might be a Drain Tank Fids. It might not be an all-in burst combo Fiddlesticks. It might be a Drain Tank Fids, so it's something that's very viable nowadays after the Season 5 change. Well, it doesn't look like it is, actually. He isn't putting very many points into it. We can actually check that. As a matter of fact, it's 1, 2... Is it this one? No, it's that one. Uh-oh, there was a kill. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. I forgot my key binding is on my Xbox controller, so... Who did that kill end up going over in favor of? I believe it was Diamond Spider. It should be on Gingy. Diamond Spider, he's probably going to throw out an E. Oh no, it's just an easy kill for him off an auto attack. That's Gingy playing way, way too far forward. That's unfortunate for him as well to go down at this point because Diamond Spider was left very healthy after that trade. There was not a trade there. He just got himself a free kill. Now I believe that it's... this one? Yeah, there it is. So we can see Optimus Knight here. He's 2-5-1. Oh, he actually is prioritizing the drain. That's surprising because it wasn't doing that much. It wasn't healing him that much. Yeah, that's very surprising as a matter of fact. He is in fact Drain Tank Fiddlesticksing, which is kind of what I expected, but it didn't seem like it was actually the case. But he has hit that power spike. He has hit that drain power spike, and if he wants to make something big happen, if he wants to jump right on the enemy squad and get as much health as possible back, he needs to do it right now, because this is the spike. This is the absolute spike for that spell. The level 9 power spike where he gets that 5th point into it. An ultimate attempt into an engage, a faulty engage from Exile Senpai is not going to go hurt here. Now, Ojin Jope is also able to disengage there utilizing his Q. Still, really good defenses coming out from Spook Squad, and Team Ethereal respecting a little bit too much in my opinion. They have a team composition that kind of just straight up overpowers the opposition, and they're really respecting them and kind of allowing them to hold on to this early game for dear life. More aggression from Diamond Spider, but Dope is playing this a very sneaky game so far. He's taken a little bit of damage, but he hasn't necessarily been able to make any big things happen. Might have had a double kill in the last team fight. The next team fight that starts is going to be a big one because Exile Senpai, his ultimate is down for another probably, I'd say 40 seconds here. We have Fiddlesticks ultimate, Diamond Spider, Lissandra ulti, whereas we also have pretty much ultis all the way around for Spook Squad. There's a possible engage. I was about to slow it down on accident. Dope is also forced into a Q of his own. Diamond Spider is simply looking for some way to start a fight here, and now is a great time to do so. Diamond Spider should be able to make that big tower dive. It's a tough situation. In my opinion, if you are the Fiddlesticks right now, if you're Optimus Knight, what you really want to... Ooh, there's the big engage from Diamond Spider. Who is he going to lock down? He ends up doing it on himself. Well played. That's a counter engage. Forces out a couple of flashes and a heal from Spook Squad. Really well done on his part. He waited for Katarina to jump right onto him and then used that ultimate on himself. Really well done. Moochie the Bear actually ends up picking up a kill there onto Gingy, who I don't believe was caught too far forward. There was just a nice long-range Q from Moochie. Oh, there's a big engage from Optimus Knight as well. Diamond Spider didn't capitalize on it. He's not there to follow up. That's 2 kills in favor of Fiddlesticks. He drops, but a double kill for Corky. He's going to trade that one 2 for 2. It's still an ace in that skirmish, though, at the end, rather, in favor of Team Ethereal, and they should be able to take this tower down. Gingy should not be able to approach this so well, but has the flash available and is able to actually snag a kill there on a Diamond Spider. Was that worth of a kill? It's tough to say. A flash to allow Lissandra to go back, get items, and heal up. Tough, really tough. It depends on how much gold was given to the Nidalee there, and we can actually check that out right now. 1,000 gold now Nidalee is sitting on. Tough to say. Tough to say if it's worth at this point. Because Lissandra's going to be able to get back here in time for this defense. Spook Squad have lost their first tower. They've been doing really well in the team fights against such a powerful squad, but what I can tell you is that it's not going to keep on happening. It's upsets. It's upsets when they come out even in team fights. Team Ethereal really should be taking everything by storm. There's an engage from Diamond once again, locking down Gingy. Exile Senpai looking for some follow-up. Can he get this Mega Gnar popped here? He is going to do so, and he's just going to get it off as soon as possible. He's not going to try to hold on to it at all. There's a flash ultimate, knocks Toby and YDid back into the ultimate from Diamond's, Moochie the Bear rather. Now Diamond Spider's moving forward to snag the second kill for his team. Gingy, exhausted, going to be dropping here, and Dope might be able to escape. That Invisible is not going to last for very long, and Exile Senpai should be able to get this low, or Moochie the Bear should be able to get that Q off, and another big ace, 4-4-0 in favor of Team Ethereal. Right as soon as I said it, the even team fights so far in favor of nobody. The even team fights so far have been flukes, and Team Ethereal should be able to take these by storm. You can see that nice synergy coming out. Moochie the Bear holds on to his ultimate for just long enough. You know, it would have been really crazy if he had thrown it out and been waiting for that ultimate to come back, but we can't expect that kind of synergy. Diamond Spider moves forward, ultimates himself, just to make sure that there isn't any capacity, not only for the enemies to escape, but also for himself to get damage. Now Gingy and Dope are just far too far forward. No way they're going to be able to make it out of this one. They get dropped, and Dope, he almost ends up making his way out of here, but nice long-range Q from Moochie the Bear, ends up snagging that kill, and that's going to be another tower, maybe even an inhibitor as well, as all 4 members are available for Team Ethereal this time. And they're still plenty healthy. They're still plenty healthy to take the next fight, in my opinion. Now, this is the point at which Spook Squad really need to bring things back, and if everything was extremely even in terms of player skill, they might have been able to, considering the fact that they're coming back with new items and heavy health bars themselves, but Team Ethereal are simply not only outplaying, but have also out-comped Spook Squad in this specific fight. Nice spear there from Gingy. That one almost ended up catching the Fiddlesticks out. Dope, now he's taking low. Exile Senpai looking to capitalize. Can he snag anything? It forces the Q early out of Dope, and now YDid ends up being forced out of a heal later on back in the back lines. That's very unfortunate. Oh no, he wasn't. There was no heal being dropped there. It looked like one. It must have been a Nidalee heal. Prepare for glory. Sergeant Pepper, I hope you're prepared for glory, man. I hope your team is ready to roll. But back to the focus on this match. I'm still not going to tell you guys who's playing next. Team Ethereal are in a good position right now to win this game. They have the super minions inside the enemy base before 15 minutes. They have a lot of great pressure from Diamond Spider. They have all 4 ultimates available at this moment. They just need to get another big engage off. And it's up to Exile Senpai at this point. Exile Senpai and Diamond Spider are 2 champions that are playing 2 champions that can make big things happen. And then Fiddlesticks are going to have a really easy time following up. If Exile Senpai gets another engage like he did last time off, or if Diamond Spider is able to move forward and get another good engage on himself that slows the enemy teammates down, it will allow Exile Senpai to follow up, move forward and follow up, and then Fiddlesticks will be able to follow up from there as well. I just want to see proactive things coming out here from both teams. I want to see Spook Squad be able to really make things happen with Dope. Dope is going to move right back into... Oh, wow, I'm not sure what he's really trying to do here. He ends up just juking out the enemy team. He's maybe be trolling a little bit, but he actually ended up making it in there because Optimus Knight moved out of the bush right at... I want to watch that one again, too. Optimus Knight ended up moving out of the bush right away. Uh-oh. I forgot to put it out of directed camera there on accident, but you can see what I'm talking about. He literally moved out of the bush as soon as Shaco was going in there. I guarantee you, Dope's heart was bumping there for a couple of seconds. Diamond Spider, here's an engage from him. There's that ultimate onto himself, like I mentioned. Not only does it get the damage down, but it also reduces the movement speed of the enemy members. He's also able to make it out of there unscathed. Toby 4v4 looking for an ultimate of his own, but still isn't able to find quite enough damage. And now Dope is in the back lines. He wants to get a quadra kill. There's one for him. There was another death going over for a team. Oh, no, it wasn't. Excuse me. I thought Optimus Knight ended up going down there, but that wasn't the case. An easy ace for Diamond Spiders. He moves forward with that E, snags the last kill for the ace. They expose the Nexus, and they should be able to take the game right now. But Jinji, 4v4, and YDid are all four making their way back. Is there enough health right now? Are there enough health bars right now on Team Ethereal for them to be able to take this one? Optimus Knight, he flashes away. There's enough minions, and that is going to be the game. GG in favor of Team Ethereal, and they're going to take this set in a 2-1. I don't want to say sweep, but they're going to take this set in a clutch fashion. This game was all about champion select, you guys. Dope, even though he showed that he had a lot of skill on the Shaco, he made some really great plays throughout the game, and his positioning was good. He was always setting down those traps. It's just the thing is, Shaco just doesn't bring it. Shaco just cannot bring it against the champions that we're seeing coming out from Team Ethereal. These guys picked to the dot, man, to the dot. These guys picked some serious champions in this match, and they were just able to overpower themselves straight to the Nexus. There was no chance for Spook Squad from the very beginning from champion select. So that's my main concern here, was the champion selection. And I think that for Spook Squad, champion selection has hurt them in the past. It isn't necessarily becoming a recurring theme quite yet, but Spook Squad champion selection is something that they should really focus on, and that is their biggest point of improvement right now. That and being more proactive, like I said in the last match. They picked well in the last match, so I didn't necessarily have to point it out. But this match, I gotta point it out. I gotta say, these games can easily be won or lost in champion select. So Spook Squad, my biggest piece of advice to you guys is to do a little bit of research, hit that Draft Labs champion tier list, do some research, see what Team AMAM are playing, even talk to some of these players from Ethereal and Team AMAM, and see what their opinion are on some of the best champions, and then try to go with more of a meta style composition, and then develop your own individual unique style of composition from there, rather than trying to take your unique style of composition, which you really have no idea how it compares to the original meta style, and then being able to implement a couple of meta champions in there. I recommend that you flip things around. Right now, you're off meta, which is not a bad thing. Like I said, I like the idea here, but I think you should switch things around and start meta, and then go towards off meta from there, instead of starting off meta and then trying to build it into meta later. That would be my biggest piece of advice for you guys right now, and I hope you can take that one to brain and bring that into your next set, because like I've said many times before, I think that Spook Squad have a bright future here with us, especially considering the fact that they want to be off meta players. I just think they need to start from the meta and then go backwards from there. Well, either way, congratulations to Team Ethereal. They've taken this set in 2-1, and they played very well and picked extremely well in this match. GG.